Mike Licio from Solo Mode Games. Today I'm going to do a solo playthrough of the game Paladins of the West Kingdom from designers Shem Phillips and S.J. McDonald. This is a continuing game in the West Kingdom trilogy that started with Architects of the West Kingdom. In this game, you're going to be sending out paladins every round to help you do particular actions. It's a worker placement game with a typical Garphill Games twist. This is a long playthrough, so I don't want to spend too much time here on the intro. I do want to point out that all of the components you'll be looking at in today's playthrough are prototype quality, so just keep that in mind. They may be a little bit different from what you'll see in the final product. But that being said, let's head on over to the table and take a look. Okay, here we have most of the solo setup for Paladins of the West Kingdom. I've got a bit more of a wide kind of shot for the camera here because there's a lot of table that this game takes up. It's a pretty big, sprawling game, and to be able to show you everything at one time, I had to kind of take a little bit more of an aerial view. Hopefully that works out well for you. So, I said most of the solo setup. The couple of things I want to point out is that this is my player board right here, and on the back of every player board is an AI board so that you can play with AI opponents. So the back of this looks just like this, and they're very similar. You'll see how they kind of work here very soon, but one of the nice things is that the solo game of Paladins plays remarkably similar to the multiplayer game. Very few differences in the actions that are taken. How they're taken for the AI player is slightly different, as you might expect. The things that are a little bit different is that for these King's Favor cards, you've got 5 of them out here. These are the AI scheme cards that are going to be going into the discard pile eventually to get shuffled in to the AI scheme deck. Right now they start up here, and so when we're starting in round 3, we'll be taking one of these each round and putting them in their discard pile. The last thing I wanted to do is I've got this stack of King's Order cards, and this is how you set up the difficulty for the game, all right? What I'm going to do is, in an easy game, you'd flip over one of these cards. Whatever the corresponding action is, you'll place one of these workshops onto the AI's board. It's going to make it easier for them to complete that action. It'll take fewer workers in subsequent turns. And in the regular game, you'll flip over 3, and in the hard game, you'll flip over 5. So in my multiple plays of this, have not fared terribly well against the devious AI opponent, and so I'm going to go for normal. I'm not going to go completely to the easy realm, although it probably still would beat me, but I'm going to go to normal. So I'm going to flip over 3 of these, then I'm going to reshuffle because there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these King's Order cards. I'll pick 3, put the workshop on the corresponding actions, then I'll reshuffle the deck and put 3 face down there. So theoretically, the same 3 that I pull up here could be there, and that would mean that they would get all 3 of those actions much, much easier, but odds are that not all of them will be there. So I'm hoping for that anyway. So here's the first one. All right, this is the Fortify Action. And so what I'm going to do is take one of these workshops and place it on the leftmost worker spot of the AI's Fortify board right there. Next, I've got the Attack Action, so I'm going to do the same thing, place a workshop on the leftmost action spot there, and then finally we've got Convert, and so this whole row here has gotten a little bit easier for the AI. So their actions are, again, the same as mine. They're just laid out a little bit differently on the board. So now I'm going to take these 3 cards back, I'm going to put them in this deck of 6, I'm going to shuffle them up, and I'm hoping that through a bit of shuffle here that I don't get all 3 of those same actions face down there, because that would make all 3 of those actions much easier for the AI to complete. So we put these face down. Alright, then the last little piece of setup is I take one of these workshops and I place it on top of each of these cards, because when this card is flipped, these cards are flipped over, you're going to put that workshop on the corresponding action. Alright. The last little thing to mention is that we've got 3 attribute markers here. This is the attribute track for both the AI and for myself, and these have to go in a particular order. They're going to go Influence first, then Faith, then strength. So blue, black, and red, those are corresponding colors for those. It doesn't matter which mine are in, but just for symmetry's sake, I went ahead and kept those the same. All right. In the interest of trying to go as quickly as possible, because this is going to be a lengthy playthrough, I can pretty much warn you of that right now. I'm not going to spend much time at all talking about the rules of the game. This is one that I think you'll understand as we play. The last little bits of knowledge here is that I start with 3 silver and 1 provision. The AI doesn't need that because they're not going to be spending them. And I get to choose one of these townsfolk here to put into my party, so to speak, without spending any costs. Normally, if I wanted to take one of these with the corresponding coin action or symbols there, I'd have to pay that amount. Now, what I think I want to do is take this missionary, because it's going to give me an immediate provision there. All right, that little lightning bolt there tells me that immediately upon taking it in, you get this whatever it is, this boon, and it's going to be 1 provision. And it also tells me that now, from now on, anytime that I take a convert action, I can get another provision. Hopefully I can remember that. I'll keep that over here. So I'll take this 1 provision, and now I'm starting the game with 3 silver and 2 provisions. All right, and now I refill by moving these over, placing a new gatekeeper there in that last spot. I've got 5 coins in the tax stand, and we are ready to go in round 1 of Paladins of the West Kingdom. Okay, round 1, here we go. The way the AI works is that they're going to have a number of workers that round that they start with, which is 3 plus the current round. So for the AI, that's going to be 4 because we're in round 1. For the AI, the color of the workers don't matter. For me, they matter very much. As you might be able to see on my player board here, many of these spaces have particular colors that correspond to these spots. And so if I wanted to go into this commission action, I would need a green worker, a worker of any color, and a black worker. Now, they do all have thematic names, and I apologize, I've not memorized those, but they are kind of thematic to the action that you're taking. The other thing that I might want to just point out, and I'll speak a little bit more about this as we're going, is that each action has across the top 2 colors that you need to be looking at. The color on the left here is going to tell you what attribute you're looking for that you need kind of to go into that. And so for the case of commission, you need to be looking at what your faith attribute is, and that's going to determine if you can take that action at all, and if so, to what strength. And on the right, it's going to tell you what attribute it improves. So this one needs faith and it improves influence. The Fortify needs influence and it's going to improve strength. And you'll see how that goes as the game goes on. All right, so let's just go ahead into the first round. The structure of these rounds are going to be pretty much the same all across the board. The first thing we're going to do is turn over this King's Order card. This is the commission action, and so I need to put this workshop over on the leftmost spot of the AI's commission board. What this is telling me is that if I can get 5 of my monks out there, which you send your monks out on the commission action onto this main board, by the end of the game, I'll get 4 points. When this next one is revealed, whatever it is, I could get 6 if I fulfill that, and then this last one I can get 8 if I fulfill that. The points get higher as they go on because you've got fewer rounds to be able to fulfill that. Here, I've got the full 7 rounds to be able to work on the commission action. I don't know what those are until later, all right? So that's the first thing that happens. The next thing that's going to happen is I'm going to turn over 2 cards from the tavern, as it's called, and this is going to be how I gain my workers for the round. The AI already has their workers. I'm going to gain my workers through this and through the paladin I choose, which I'll show you in one moment. So here we've got 2 workers, a green worker and a red worker, and we've got 2 black workers and 2 blue workers. Now, the next thing that I do is I take from the top of my paladin deck. Every player in a multiplayer game, if you were playing with other players, would have the exact same paladin deck, but you shuffle them so they're not going to be coming out in the same order. The AI doesn't have a paladin deck, they've got the scheme deck that they use. So the thing you do is you draw the top 3 cards off of your paladin deck. You're going to choose which one you want to use for the current round. you're going to pick another one that you'll put back on the top of your deck, so it'll be available in the next round, and the other one you'll put at the bottom of the deck. So you're kind of potentially giving up on that one, although they might cycle back around. So let's see here. I've got Guerrier, who is going to mean that in my conversion, if I wanted to convert workers, it's going to cost me no silver. The first worker already doesn't cost silver, but as we're going along, those will cost more. Then I've got Conspiring will earn me 2 silver. Conspiring allows you to get Criminals, which are the purple workers, and I might explain that in a moment. And then I've got Berengier, who will make garrisoning a little bit easier, because garrisoning you have to spend, you can't quite see it here, I'll move these down. You have to spend provisions that get increasingly higher as you put them out on the main board. And so if I wanted to choose him, it wouldn't take any provisions to get these out on the board. It would just take a strength attribute. The other thing to keep in mind is that these give you some temporary strength attributes, or different attributes, excuse me. So Berengier would give me a temporary strength attribute for this round of 3 and a temporary influence attribute of 1. So I start on 0. Right now, if I played him, I'd have 3 strength and 1 influence. If I played Garin here, I would have 4 influence. If I played Guerrier, and I'm probably butchering these names, I would have a temporary boost of 3 faith and 1 influence. Okay? So I have to kind of determine what I want to do here. None of these deal with commissioning, which I know I want to kind of work on that. I think what I might do is choose... The only reason I don't want to choose Garin is it only gives me 1 boost attribute, and I'd kind of like to have a little more flexibility and have 2 potential boost attributes. So let's look at converting, because converting gets you endgame points. All right, so I'm going to put Garin here, or Guerrier here. He's going to be my current round's paladin. I'm going to put Garin. Do I want to put Garin? No. I'm going to put Garin at the bottom. I'm going to put Berengier at the top of my deck. And the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 2 workers that correspond to this paladin, which is a black worker and a red worker. Alright, so I take a black worker and a red worker, and you might notice that this relates to the converting action, and if you look to convert, you need a red, any worker, and a black, and they give you the red and the black. So that's not coincidental. That kind of is how things will work out. The other nice thing is that if I can convert, I've already got this townsperson who's going to give me extra provisions to do so. So that's good to kind of work on that. All right. The other thing that I want to do is I'd love to be able to develop to make this conversion action easier. So I think what I'm going to do is, to me right now, neither of these, well, actually this is what I'm going to do because I'm going to trade. Okay, so I'm going to take this, which is going to give me 2 blue and 2 black, and now here are my 6 workers for this round. I'm always going to start with 6 workers unless I carry over workers from a previous round. You can carry over up to 3. I'll just tell you right now, I almost never carry over workers, but you can, be that as it may. And I might do it in this game, who knows. All right, I always go first each round. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to angle towards making this convert action cheaper. So I'm going to go to this trade action. Now the way this works is that you can place 1 worker on the left side, and this is going to be the same thing for the hunt action and the recruit action. Okay, well, to an extent, I'll explain what I mean. If you place just 1, you're going to get the weaker of these actions, and then you could not later that round come back and get the other side. If you only put 1, that's it for that round, unless you take a prey action to remove it and come back, which again I'll explain. So if I did this, I would get 1 coin. Instead, if I did this, which I'm going to do, I'm going to get 3 coins, 1 plus 2. So I get my 3 coins, and that's going to go to my pool here, and you'll see why I'm doing that in a moment. The same thing with the hunt. If you put just 1 worker here, you'll get 1 provision. If you place 2 workers, one of them being a green worker, you'll get 3 provisions, but you can't do one and then put the second one on later. I'll explain how recruit works in a moment because I'll definitely be doing that. So that was my action. That's it. Now we come over to the AI and we turn over the top card of its scheme deck. Well, and this is very interesting. This is a prey action, which it's something that you're not going to quite see the full effect of it right now, but you will later. So one thing I do is I take a worker and I place it over the corresponding spot along the top here. Now, if there were any workers already on the right side of the AI's board, those would get pulled off. However, there are none, so instead the AI is going to gain a worker, and then when you do the prey action, you reshuffle the scheme deck. So I'm going to shuffle this up. Oops. That was the AI's turn. Again, it not too eventful here at the beginning, but you'll see how powerful the prey action can be later on, for sure. Now it's back to me. And so the reason why I took this trade action is I wanted to come here and develop. That costs 4 silver, and it's going to allow me to put a workshop somewhere over here. So it takes 2 workers and 4 coins. I need to save a black worker here so I can do my cheaper convert action. All right. So right now what I'm going to do is take these 2 workers, it could be any color, and 4 silver, and I take the leftmost workshop. When I do that, it reveals a white worker. So now I get a white worker to add to my supply, and I can put this on the leftmost spot of any of these spots. It's going to make it easier for me to go there later, basically cheaper. So I'm going to cover up the leftmost spot of the convert action, and now I won't need that red worker. I'll only need 2 workers, one of them being black. You can fill up to the 2 leftmost, so you can get it as cheap as 1 worker. You can never completely cover those up. All right, so I did my develop action. I went and made the convert action cheaper. Now we'll come back to the AI scheme deck, and they're going to convert. All right, so they already have this a little bit cheaper. They've blocked off one of their spots there, so they need 2 workers to do that, but we need to see what their attribute is in faith, because that takes the faith attribute. Right now they're at 0. They actually can convert this worker, because what you're going to do is look at the flags above each worker. In this case, this one only needs 0. It doesn't need any faith to convert it. And so they've got the 2 workers. They're going to place those on the player board here. All right. They're going to take this worker, or this outsider, excuse me, and they're going to place it on the leftmost spot here. It's going to give them an immediate boon of improving their strength attribute. Then at the end of the game, it's going to get at least 1 point, plus 1 more point for every other of the King's Order cards it fulfills. So this could be worth up to 4 points. All right. So this goes here. We're going to improve its strength attribute by 1. And it's important that these stay stacked, and I'll explain why in a moment. So the AI actually kind of snuck in behind me and got potentially what I might have done, because I'm going to be coming here right now. So I go to the convert action. I use my white worker, it could have been any color, and my black worker. And now I'm at 0. You would think, well, you're out of luck because that 0 was taken. But remember, Guerrero here gives me a temporary attribute bonus of 3 in my faith. So I technically have 3, which means that I can get this invader converted through my faith attribute. It's going to give me an immediate bonus of 2 strength, and I'm going to get 1 point for every outsider that I attack of this faction. Okay, and there's one of them right there, there's one of them right there. So I take this, I put it in my spot. This first one doesn't need any silver, although it wouldn't anyway because of his power. I move my strength attribute up 2, and that was my turn. It's going to be an attack action, and now they do have an attack of 1. However, it takes 2 workers because they've made that cheaper, and they have 2 workers. But if you look here, these left 2 outsiders have been taken. So the cheapest, using that terminology, that you'd need would be 5, and they only have 1. So they can't do the attack action. When you can't do a particular action for any reason, not whether you don't have the number of workers or you don't have the correct attribute strength, then you're going to go from left to right across this top row. And this is going to be the recruit action in this case. And once you are doing many of these, you look to this kind of track here. It's really kind of a resource track, and it also is a track to determine what cards the AI is going to be targeting. In this case, they're going to be targeting the leftmost card. All right, so we look here, this card is the leftmost card, and they're going to do the recruit action, which in this case is going to be doing whatever the action is up here, which you would normally do with the leftmost recruit on your player board, which I'll show you. So this means that they're getting 2 tax coins. So this is going to get discarded. 2 of the coins are going to be moved out of the tax back into the general supply, and then we're going to move their supply up 2. All right, so we moved up those 2 coins from the tax, we removed them from the tax back into the main supply, and it's back to me. I only have 1 worker left, so I could either keep this worker for the next round, which I said I almost never do, but interestingly enough, I might do it now. I might do it now because really the only thing that I could do is either, well, no, let me do this. I'm going to do this. I am going to go ahead and spend it because I have a hard time carrying these over. So I'm going to use this as a recruit. I'm going to do just the leftmost action, which is what the AI just did. Now, if I chose any of these, I would have to pay silver to do so. But I think what I'm going to do instead is just do this one, which is going to give me a criminal. All right? And there's another reason why I want to do this. So I take this card and I take a criminal. Now, when you take a criminal, you are doing something potentially nefarious. You're gaining suspicion. So anytime you take a criminal, for any reason, you take a card from the suspicion deck and you flip it over. And it's going to have anywhere from 0 to 2 taxes that you get to take, coins from the tax. So I put this here, I take 1 coin from the tax supply, and I put it in my supply. That was the main reason I did that, was to be able to try to get some more silver. Now it's dangerous because when this runs out, we're going to have an Inquisition. And whoever has the most suspicion at the time of the Inquisition is going to get a debt card, which, if unchecked, will be worth -3 points at the end of the game. All right, here we go back to the AI. They're praying again. Now the pray action has already been taken, so we will not do that. Instead, we will move to the next spot, which is trade, which simply gives them a silver, and we move that to that next spot. Okay, that's the AI's turn. Now we come back to me. Really the only thing that I could do here is I could pray, although there's no reason to do so, because by clearing a spot, it won't help me. I have no workers to put there. So instead, I'll go ahead and go into the hunt spot and get myself 1 provision for a future round. All right, the AI has no more workers, so therefore they have to pass. I'm going to clear their workers off the board here. All right, we come back to me. I also have to pass. I've got no workers left. I'm going to clear my workers off. All right, that was 1 round. Now we're going to be looking at the next round. First, before we do that, we're going to look if any cards are left in the right 2. In a regular multiplayer game, it's only the rightmost card here and the leftmost card here, but in a solo game, you're going to look at the 2. So this squire is actually going to go away. We'll move these down. Oops, I'm knocking over my attributes there. We're going to move those down. Fill those up. We're going to move these down because the left 2 were already gone. Refill those. All right. These tavern cards get discarded, and now we're ready for round 2. We look at the current round, which is 2, and we add 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're already set up for round 2 for the AI. I am already set up for myself. So here's what we do. Same as before. Now we're going to look at what the next King's Order card is, and it's going to be to Fortify. Well, that's unfortunate because the AI already had a cheaper Fortify, and now they've got a 1 worker Fortify. I have not done any fortifying yet, so that's something I need to kind of think about as well. All right, so now we flip over the top 2 cards of the tavern, and look at this. We've got 2 criminals here. Now, this is an interesting thing because you'll see in a moment, if I don't choose this card, the AI is going to take a suspicion card for each one of those purple workers, each one of those criminals. But I almost have to ask myself, is it worth having 2 kind of wild workers for taking almost surely taking a debt card? Because I'm also going to be getting coins. So my inclination is I'm going to go ahead and take a debt to get those workers and the coins that potentially will come with them. But we'll get there when we get there. First, let me look at my 3 paladins I have to choose from. I know one of them already because I put it there last round. That's Berenger here. Well, phooey. There we go. I moved my monks. All right. So, garrisoning, as we know, costs no provisions. Now, I've got a cheaper recruiting. It doesn't cost any silver. And attacking earns me 2 silver. So, I'm thinking attacking might be a good thing to do. Yeah, so I think I'm going to make this my current round paladin. I will put Berenger back on top, and Roland's going to go to the bottom. Alright. Alright. So I'm going to get a green and a red from Engelier here. Again, I apologize if I'm butchering these names. It's very likely that I am. And now I am going to take this card. So I'll take the green and the red. Let's get that out of the way. And now we're getting 2 criminals. I am almost assuredly going to get a debt here. But that's okay, because to me it's worth the potential flexibility and it's worth the potential silver I'm going to get. And you have chances to mitigate those debt cards. So I'll go ahead and take these 2 criminals, and you do them one at a time. First suspicion card right there gets me 2 from the tax supply. All right, that's going to trigger an inquisition. Now you look at who's got the most. Right now I am the only one that has any, and so that's going to be me. You get to discard half, rounding down I believe, of your suspicion cards. I've got 2, so I'm going to discard 1, and I take a debt card. All right, it's worth -3 points at the end of the game. However, if I can flip it over, it's worth +1. All right, so I'll just go ahead and put that in my area for now. I definitely plan on working on that later. Now we refill the tax supply, and that for a single game is to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've got a little chart up here. 2 players, 5, 3 is 7, 4 is 8. All right. Okay, so that was the first one. Now I'm going to take another one. 1. Well, I would have loved to have gotten another 2, but can't be too greedy, I suppose. It could have been 0, so I'll take that and I'll be happy with it. The AI is not going to get any because I didn't leave them any purple workers there. All right, so you can see that's kind of a potentially strategic thing you can do as well, is leave them suspicion that might give them debts. But they also have ways of getting rid of their debt, as you might expect. All right. Now, you may have asked yourself, why didn't you reshuffle the deck when this prey card came up? Well, it's because I didn't actually take the prey action. I moved over to the trade action. The trade action is the one that I actually took there. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get ready with my first turn of round 2. All right, here we go. And I'm going to try to go a little bit quicker now. I think the first thing I want to do is, I know I want to attack this round, and I'd really like to attack somebody of this blue faction here because it's going to give me points at the end of the game. So first thing I want to do is develop so that I can get my attack action cheaper to hopefully get one of those outsiders there in a faction that works for my converted invader here. All right, so I'm going to develop. I want to keep one of my red workers for sure, but I don't want to use my purple workers because those are much more versatile, as you might expect. So I go here to the develop. I'll spend a green and a red and 4 coins, 3 of which I just got as setup. And I'll take the leftmost. It's going to give me another white worker. You'll get better workers as this goes on. And I'll put it here. Now, I could have just doubled down on converting, or I could have come here to fortifying because I know I'm going to need that. But I kind of hope that's going to be an attack. That would be nice. Although it would also make it easier for the AI to get that done. But be that as it may, I did my action. Now we go to the AI. They're going to recruit. All right, so they come here to recruit. They're going to be targeting the 4th card. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, they're going to do this, which is just gaining them a worker. And it doesn't matter the color. For me, it would matter, but for the AI, the color doesn't matter. We come back to me. Now I know I want to attack. So I'll take this white worker that I just gained off the develop action and a red worker. And the way this works is you look at your strength attribute. Right now I'm at 2. I've got a temporary boost of 3. So my strength is right now at 5. And this is going to improve my influence attribute. So I look here and I could choose any of these first 3. All right, any of these first 3. Now, I think it behooves me to take this protector and attack it because it has the attribute, or excuse me, the faction that's going to give me an extra point at the end of the game. So when you attack, you look here along the right side and you immediately gain what it shows, which in this case is I'm going to gain an influence, a white worker, and a provision. All right, so I've attacked. I'm going to take those bonuses, which is 1 on the influence marker. I'll take a white worker, and I'll take a provision. And then I'm just going to place this face down in my player area. At the end of the game, I'm going to use that for endgame scoring. Okay? The other thing you can do with an attack is you can pay 1 coin to move further along, basically to skip 1. So if right now I had a 5, if I wanted to get to this guardian, which I could have because, you know, it gave me the right faction and it would have given me a blue worker instead of a white worker, I could have paid a coin to do it, but I don't feel like it was worth a coin to get a blue worker instead of a white worker. All right, so that was what I did. Now we come back to the AI. They're going to fortify, which is a bummer because that's one of the King's Order cards. They only need to spend 1 worker to do so, and they're going to be looking, yes, they can. They're going to be looking right here. This is going to tell them how much influence they need to have. Their first fortify card, they don't need any influence, so they can do it. So they place a worker there. They're going to take a card from this wall deck and place it along the top. And it's going to get increasingly more influence for them to be able to do so. But this first one they can do without any problem at all. They flip it over and they're going to get this first attribute, which is always going to be strength. You're always going to have your strength increased at least 1 through these cards. And then it's either getting rid of a suspicion or taking 2 coins. Well, they don't have a suspicion to take, so instead they'll take the 2 coins, and what that's going to mean is that they're going to move this 1, and now we're wrapping around. And when you wrap around, you're going to find the lowest influence, or excuse me, lowest attribute they have and raise it 1. And in the case of here, where you've got 2 on the same, you're going to take the one on top, and that's why it's important to keep them stacking. So we're going to be moving the faith up 1. All right? So that's what the AI has done. We're coming back to me. I've been thinking so much about them, I don't know what I want to do. I think I might want to convert because that would help me. Well, it wouldn't help me there, but it would get me another. Oh, I attacked. I forgot. My Engelier here gives me 2 silver for attacking. I almost forgot that. You do have to kind of try to keep track of all those things because that can make a big difference. What I may want to do is pray so that I can attack again. Let me show you how that works. All right, praying takes a black worker, but you can also use a criminal. You have to pay 2, and now you can clear any one of your spots. When you do it for the AI, you're clearing everything on the right side. For you, you can just pick a spot. So I'll pick my attack spot, put those back to the general supply, and now I can go there again on my next turn. And hopefully the Guardian, well, the Guardian should still be there because the AI won't have enough strength to attack it even if they wanted to. All right. All right. Now we're going to go back here. They're going to commission. All right. Now you're going to see us go to the main board for the first time. Okay. So they come here. They put 2 workers down for the commission, and for the commission you're looking for the faith attribute, and right now the AI has 1, so it means they can only go to this spot. You look kind of in columns, all right, above each one of these cards. To go here you don't need any faith. To go here you need at least 2, at least 4, at least 6, 8, and 10. So right now the AI can only go to one of these 2 spots. These are closed off for a 1 and 2 player game. All right, so they've got a little kind of priority marker here. So the first thing they want to do is take a recruit action, and they actually can do that because there's one right there. So they're going to take one of their monks, they're going to place it on that spot. That's going to immediately improve their influence. So their influence now goes on top of their faith, and they're going to recruit for free the card they're targeting here, which is this defender, which is going to give them a worker and a provision. All right, so we'll give them a worker, doesn't matter the color, and for their provision, we move their tracker up one. All right, now we come back to me. I'm going to attack again. I can do that because I've got a criminal. All right. My strength is at 5, so I could get either one of these two for free, but I really think I want that extra point. So I will spend a coin in this case. I think it's worth it for me now because I'm going to get 2 back anyway. So I take this Guardian. I immediately move my influence up 1. I get a blue worker, and I get a provision, and I get 2 coins for my Paladins power here. So that worked out pretty nicely, and that's another point at the end of the game. All right, moving back to the AI. King's Order. Okay, now, when you do the King's Order, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to look at the rightmost revealed card that you have not yet completed. So to complete this, you need to have 5 Fortify actions. To complete this, you need 5 commission actions. Well, they haven't completed either of those. They've only done 1 of each. So they'll try to fortify. Well, they can't. That's already taken. Then they'll try to commission. Well, they can't. That's already been taken. In that case, they come back up here to the top and they take the leftmost action, which is to pray. So they'll put their worker there. We're going to remove all of these workers back to the general supply. And now we're going to reshuffle the scheme deck. All right. So you kind of see how that works. So now they've got those actions available to them again. So if the commission or the fortify comes back, which it very well might, they can do those again. All right. Whereas I can have to pick a spot, and I'm pretty much stuck with taking that one. All right. Well, I'd love to be able to convert, but I don't have the right worker. What I could do is conspire to then come back and convert. But I only have a faith of 1, so I need a higher faith because the lowest one here is 2. If I were able to get my faith attribute up higher, that might be one thing, but I cannot. So unfortunately, I think I have to give up on that idea. I think what I might do instead is, do I want to trade? If I go, yeah, I think what I'm going to do is just trade. I always like having silver because I like to boost up my developments to be able to get those actions cheaper. So I take 3 coins from the supply. All right. The AI still has 2 workers left. Now they're going to garrison. They cannot garrison because that still needs 3 workers for them. So next thing they're going to do is come here to trade, which just simply gives them a coin. All right. Back to me. I'm out of workers, so I've got to pass. I clear my workers off of my board as like such. All right. Come back to the AI. They still have 1 worker. King's Order. Now they can fortify because they only need 1 worker to do so. They've doubled up on that. They need 1 influence. They now have 1 influence. They come back here. They take that fortify action, and they're also working towards getting those 6 points at the end of the game. We flip over the top wall card. It's going to give them a strength, which we move up. It's going to give them a point at the end of the game, and it's going to give them yet another worker. Bummer for me. I've passed. Convert. They can't do that because it takes 2. They're going to come here to the conspire action, which means they take a suspicion, which gives them 1 coin, 1 tax. All right. So we remove 1, and it gives them 2 workers. That's what their conspire does. It gives them a suspicion and 2 workers. All right. They're going to try to absolve. They cannot absolve because that takes 3. So finally, they will rest, which means that they're going to get 1 provision plus 1 for every worker left over. So in this case, they're going to get 2. 1, wrap around, 2, make their influence go up 1. All right. That's that. Once they've rested, their round is over. So we go ahead and clear those off. They're going to be coming into round 3, so they're going to need 6 workers total, which they actually already have. Let me get that off of there. Okay. We're going to clear this missionary away because it's in the rightmost 2 spots. We move these down. All right, we refill. We have to burn the adventurer here because that's in the leftmost 2 spots. We slide these down. Put in 3 more. Hoping to get more of that blue faction out there. Right now I've only got one. I've got the trader out there. That's the only one that I could potentially target for an attack if I wanted to get that extra point. The tavern gets discarded and we are ready for round 3. Okay, round 3 is the only round where we're going to be flipping over 2 cards. So the first thing we do, I'm kind of hoping this is an attack because I'm already 2. It's not. It's an Absolve, which I've done none of, unfortunately. But the AI is not either, and they're now getting it at a little cheaper, but they also haven't done any absolving yet. The last thing we do for that is we take this King's Favor card, we put it in the discard pile, and we flip this over. This is now a new worker spot that either of us can go to, which this one will allow us to place any worker to do a prey action. So it's nice because here on your board, on my board, it takes a black worker and 2 coins. There I could put any worker and do a prey action without paying any coins. So that might be nice depending on what happens this round. Alright, so we've flipped over the 2 cards. We're going to look at who comes out in the tavern. We got 3 black workers and a red worker, 2 blue workers and 2 green workers. So let's see what I've got in my Paladins deck here. 1, 2, and 3. Alright, what would I like to do? Well, developing, absolving, and garrisoning are the ones that kind of are being targeted here. So I think what I might do is try to make my absolve cheaper and go there. Absolving will cost no silver, which is nice. I'll see if I can do that at least twice this round because, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make Ivoire my paladin. He's going to give me a black worker and a blue worker. Also going to give me a temporary influence boost of 3 and a strength boost of 1. I'm going to keep Samson. I love Samson because what Samson does is he makes developing cost 2 fewer silver. And so that's, I almost wonder if I want to use him right now. I might want to use him instead because then I could really try to make these cheaper. Yeah, you know, I'm changing my mind. I'm going to keep Ivoire for the next round. I'm going to put Samson on board right now, which means I'm going to change the workers I get. It's going to give me a green and a white worker, which aren't, you know, as powerful, but that's okay. You can use any workers for the develop action. But I'm going to develop, I'm going to pray, I'm going to develop again. That's my plan, all right? Because it's only going to cost me 2 silver to develop now. All right? Now I figure out which workers I want. So I'm going to be probably trying to absolve. So I want blue workers, so I'll go ahead. I may also want to convert though, but I'll concentrate on absolving. So I'll take 2 blue workers and 2 green workers and go with this as my pool. All right, I've got 2 blue workers, 3 green workers, and a white worker. All right, so I know what my first action is going to be. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to develop. All right. 2 workers of any color. I now only have to spend 2 silver because of Samson's ability. And I'm going to place my leftmost workshop. I'm going to get a green worker, and I'm going to place this in the absolve action on the leftmost. All right. I may actually take my second develop later and make that even cheaper because I need to pray to develop again. So we'll see. We'll see what I can do here. Going to the AI, they are going to fortify, which is something that they cannot do because they need 3 influence and they're only at 2. So instead of fortifying, what they will do is recruit. They're going to look at the leftmost card, which is the Acolyte, which is going to be burning, discarding 2 of their suspicions. Well, here's what's going to happen. They only have 1, so they burn 1, discard 1. Whenever they're told to discard either a deck card or a suspicion card and they don't have one, instead what they do is remove a coin from the tax supply. So that's what they've done. Made it more likely for an Inquisition to happen, which is going to give me likely another deck card. All right, so I've developed. I think what I'm going to do right now is go ahead and pray for free, basically. It took a worker, but now I've cleared off my develop action. All right, now we come back to the AI. They're going to attempt to commission. They're at a commission of 1, so they can do that. because there's still one more spot in the 0. All right, so they're going to take 2 workers, there and there. They're going to remove one of their monks. They're going to improve their influence by 1. And they only have one choice, which is the 2 coins, which goes here and here. All right, so they've commissioned. Now I'm going to develop again. I'm going to use both of my green workers and 2 coins because of Samson's ability there. All right. And I get another green worker, and I'm going to make Absolve even cheaper. All right. I've done that. Okie doke. Now we go to the King's Order. All right, so they're going to be looking here first, which is absolving, which they will easily be able to do. They take 2 workers to do so. And what they're going to do is look at their little pots here. They only need 0 influence to do their first one. Well, they certainly have that. So they flip that over, and now the first thing that happens is their faith goes up 1. Then they have 2 actions. One is to discard a suspicion. Well, they don't have one, so we know what they do. They remove a coin. The next thing they would do is if they had a debt, they would flip that over, but they don't, so they're going to discard another suspicion, which means this goes away. It triggers a Inquisition. I've got 2 suspicion cards. I can discard 1, and I have to take yet another debt. Now, if I leave these as they are, that's -6 points for me at the end of the game, which is not ideal. I'm going to restore the tax supply. Comes back to me, and now it's time for me to absolve. All right? And probably what I'll do right now is flip over one of those debt cards. So I come here to the absolve. My first pot is 0, which I already have 2, so actually I have 4, if you look at Samson giving me that ability. I spend a coin, all right, because it tells me to right here. And now it's going to improve my faith by 1, and I get a place over here, which means I get a benefit and I get to discard a suspicion. So I think what I'm going to do is take this, which allows me to flip one of my debt cards, and so now instead of -6 points, I've got -2 points because you've got -3 plus 1. All right, now I get to discard my suspicion there. All right, so that worked out pretty well. Okay, now we come to the AI who wants to conspire, but oh yes, they can conspire. They'll come right here. They'll gain 2 workers. They're going to gain a suspicion, which gives them no coins. Thankfully, that worked out very well for me. They keep the suspicion, but they don't get any benefit here. And we come back to me. I've got 2 workers. Now, what I'd love to do is be able to absolve again. But I don't think that's going to happen. I also can't pray again. Yeah, I would have loved to have been able to kind of spam this absolve again. But next round, I might bring that Paladin in that lets me absolve cheaper. It doesn't cost me any silver. So probably what I'm going to do is kind of make my next round my big absolve round, if I can do so. So my best bet is maybe to trade here. I could conspire to get me a... Yeah, you know, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to conspire, because then I can attack. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. All right, so let me conspire. I will go here. I'll get myself a criminal. I will gain a suspicion for doing so. Ah, I got a bummer too. No coins for me. Still got a suspicion though. All right, come back to the AI. They've got their 2 workers there. They're going to recruit. They cannot recruit, so they're going to pray. So they clear off any worker they have on the right side, and that's all of those. And we're going to reshuffle their scheme deck. All right. They're going to come back to me, and I'm going to be attacking. And luckily, I've got that trader that is... Well, I'm going to have to pay a coin to do so, which is a real bummer. I was hoping I can get it for free. Okay, because right now, my attack, which I'll go here, I'm at a strength of 2 plus 2 is 4. So I could get either of these 2, or that traitor? Is it worth a point for me? I think it is, because I'm also going to be getting a criminal, which is likely going to get me more tax coins. Yeah, so I'm going to attack. I'm going to pay a coin, my last coin, to attack that traitor. Okay? I immediately get 1 influence. Oops. Then I'm going to get a criminal. Alright. Face down. I take a suspicion for that criminal. 2 coins. Nice. So even though I'll probably get another debt, there are ways to deal with that. Those coins are important. Now we come back to the AI. Oops. I'm going to reshuffle these because those did not get shuffled correctly. Let's try this again. And I'm shifting boards around. It's a complete catastrophe. All right. All right, here we go. King's Order. They're going to attempt first to absolve. They cannot because they don't have the space to do so. Now they're going to attempt to fortify. They need 3 influence. They have 3 influence. They're going to fortify again. So that doesn't work out well for me because that's really boosting up their strength. It's pretty much guaranteeing they're going to get those 6 points at the end of the game. They get a, wow, I gave them more workers too. They get a strength and 2 more workers, which allows them to just keep burning through this round. All right. Oh, no, I actually have I have 1 worker left. Sorry. I could, no, there's no reason to pray. So basically I could recruit, oh, yes, this is what I want to do. I want to recruit, all right? So now, this one is free. It's discard action. Basically, you're sending it out on a quest. That's kind of what the rulebook says. It allows me to just discard a debt card. Okay, I don't flip it for a point, but I get to get rid of it. So, goodbye to this debt and those -3 points at the end of the game, because I will clearly be getting more of them. I'm kind of lined up for another one right now when that clears out. All right, so that was my last action for the round. We come back to the AI. They want to garrison. They cannot afford to. They need 3 workers. They only have 2, so instead they will trade. It moves them up 1 for getting a coin. I am done, so I need to clear my board. All right. AI is going to take its action here, which is a King's Order. So it wants to absolve, which it can't do. It wants to fortify, which it can't do. And it wants to commission, which it can't do because it doesn't have enough workers. So it rests. It gains 1 provision plus 1 for leftover workers. They don't have any. So there's that. Going to clear out this last card. Shift these down. Put out some more. If these run out, they run out. Clear that worker off of there. These 2 are both gone. They were not either attacked or converted. Put out another 3. All right, these go away. And we get ready to start round 4 of 7. All right, so in round 4, the AI is going to have 7 workers, so let me just clear this off. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we'll just give them another worker out of here for 7. All right, they've got their 7 workers for the round. We will flip this. We'll take this King's Favor card, put it in their discard pile. Let's see what new action spot we've got. Here you can place a black worker to discard a suspicion and gain 2 from the tax supply. That's kind of nice, actually. That's something to think about maybe for this round. All right. Now we will flip over our tavern. Ooh, couple of criminals there, which I may actually go ahead and take. I'm not shy about taking debt cards because, as you've seen, there are ways to mitigate them. There are ways to discard them. There are ways to flip them. Now, you could be stuck with them, too. I have had debt cards, believe me, at the end of the game before, but I'm not too worried about them at this point, so I think it's going to behoove me to take those criminals there. But first, let's see what Paladin I want to take. I think I might want to take the one that gives me the cheaper Absolve. which I saw last round. Yeah, absolving costs no silver. I could also commission. That doesn't cost any provisions. I haven't done any commissioning or garrisoning. Hunting would gain me an extra 2 provisions. So I usually, and this may be a mistake because I clearly do poorly in this game based on past performance, but I usually don't choose the Paladins very often that give me more stuff, and maybe that's a mistake, but I do have a lot of provisions right now. They can go quickly if you take those commissioning or garrisoning actions, or fortifying. All of those take provisions. But right now, I think what I'm going to do is take because I've got my Absolve pretty cheaply, all right, I will keep Yvonne for commissioning next round, and I'll put Gerard, that makes the hunting better, in the bottom of my deck. All right, that's going to gain me a blue worker and a black worker, and I do think I'm going to go ahead and take this, which will give me a blue and a red, and 2 criminals. So we do them one at a time. First one's going to gain me a suspicion, which is going to give me 1 tax coin. If I get one that gives me 2 here, then it's going to be an Inquisition, which I do. But it also gives me a lot of silver. Okay, so I gain those last 2. We have an Inquisition. The AI has 1, but I've got a lot more than that. I've got 4, so I get to burn the top 2. Discard those. I'm still left with 2. And I take a debt. Alright, so now we're back at a net -2 there. Alright. So we're ready to go. I know I want to absolve because it's not going to cost me any silver. And I'm at a temporary attribute of influence of 6, so I could potentially knock those 3 out if I'm able to do so. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is come here and absolve. I don't have to pay the 2 silver, thankfully. I take this one, it's going to improve my faith attribute, and I get to put it over here. Now, do I want to go ahead and flip that other debt right now? No, I think instead what I'm going to do is take this free prey action. Clear it right off of there, so in the next round I'm going to come right back to it. Alright, go to the AI. They want to convert. Their faith attribute, which they need, is 2, which means that they could convert those first 2, so they will certainly do that. Alright, they take 2 workers. Now, their targeted is the 5th one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, you'd need 8 faith for that, so you just kind of cycle to the right. Can't do that one, they can come back to this one. Alright, so they take this lookout, they get the immediate bonus of a strength, and they're going to place it down here, oops, for endgame points. This is going to give them 1 point for every 2 fortify actions they've done, so they already have 1 point for these first 2, and they'll probably get that whole, if not all of it, they'll get very close. Alright, so that's going to be a big point scorer for them. Alright, now I've cleared off that absolve action. Through the praying, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come right here. Don't have to pay the 2 coins because of Ivoire. I will take this 3 because I'm at a temporary of 6. Okay? It's going to improve my faith attribute. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to take my second free prey action and do that. I'm just going to kind of spam that absolve to just save myself a bunch of silver because that's already 4 silver I've saved. Alright? We come here. We are going to absolve. Alright? To absolve, they need to be looking at their influence attribute. They have 3, so they're perfectly fine. Alright? So here's what they'll do. They'll put their 2 workers there. They flip over this leftmost one. Alright? Now they will gain a faith attribute. They will discard a suspicion, so now they have no suspicion left. And they would flip a debt if they had one, they don't. They would discard a debt or suspicion if they had one, they don't. So instead, oh, I should have refilled that, sorry. They will take 1 from here and put it back in the supply. All right. Okay, so that was their absolve action. Now I come back to absolve. Not a huge surprise here. All right. I save those other 2, so that's 6 silver I didn't have to spend this round, which is terrific. I do have 5 because I've got 3 plus 3. I improved my faith attribute yet again. And I'm going to, this time, since I have no more prey actions here, I'm going to flip. Oh, you know what? when I did those, I should have discarded these. So these are both gone. I flip this debt to here. Sorry, I missed that earlier, but it didn't affect anything because we haven't had an Inquisition since then. All right, so those go away now. Okay, because I've done 3 total Absolve actions this round. Okay, back to the AI. King's Favor. So they're going to target the furthest most one, or 5th one. They can't, so they come back here, which is really a bummer. That really is a bummer, because now I would have used that to take that Absolve and do it again. Maybe if I could have gotten one more influence. Who knows if I could have or not, but that was my plan. So they're going to be doing a Prey action, which means that they will clear the right side of their board. All right. And they're going to shuffle their scheme deck up. Oops. All right. So now they stole that, potentially that action from me. I'm not sure I would have done it, but it's certainly something I would have considered. All right, now, thinking I might attack right now, or I might fortify. I feel pretty good about getting this King's Order. I mean, I think I only need to do one more Absolve action to get those 8 points. I haven't commissioned, I haven't fortified at all. Fortifying will improve my strength attribute, which is my lowest, but boy, I really feel like it never hurts to develop. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to develop. I'm going to spend 4. It's expensive, but there's a reason it's expensive, because it's powerful. I take this workshop, it's now going to give me a blue worker, and I think what I might do I want to make those cheaper, or do I want to really kind of double down on these? Get much cheaper attacks, much cheaper converts. Neither of those are going to give me those types of points. I do have a lot of... Alright, I think I'm going to make my commission a little cheaper. I'm really tempted to do this, but especially because converting gives you potentially extra points at the end of the game. But I'll go to the commission. I'm really second guessing myself there, but that's okay. Now they're going to pray again. So they come here. They have no workers to clear because they just prayed, so they'll gain a worker, and we'll reshuffle this deck again. All right. All right. I've got my 2 workers. I can now convert, or I can attack. I think what I might want to do is, I'm at a 4 on my faith. This would give me a point for every suspicion card I have left over at the end of the game. This would give me a point for every 2 cards that I've recruited, neither of which give me anything right now. This one you won't know until the end of the game, so I'm not really thrilled with either of those. Do I want to just attack? Maybe I want to attack. Maybe I want to commission. Let's commission. Let's commission. All right, so I haven't commissioned before. Let's make sure I can commission. Yes, I can. I've got plenty of the faith attribute. So for commissioning, you're looking at the faith attribute. I've got 4, so I can go to any of these 3. Now those are both taken, so I'm looking over here. All right, so I'll take my monk. That's going to improve my influence, and I'm going to be looking at any one of these that I want to do. I don't have any. Well, let's see. I don't have any suspicion to get rid of. Coins would be nice. I might want to recruit. Because that means I can recruit any of these cards for free. The Conspirator is nice because at every Inquisition it allows you to discard a suspicion before you account for it. The Architect would have been great early because that would have given me provisions every time that I did the develop action, and I've done a bunch of them, but I'd only be doing that 3 more times. The Peddler is if I have, during the Inquisition, if I have 2 or more suspicion, I gain 2 coins from the general supply. I always seem to have a lot of suspicion. Maybe I go ahead and take the Peddler. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'll go here, the recruit. I'll recruit this peddler for free. He doesn't give me anything right away. That's okay. The only thing that would have given me something right away is that architect would have given me a provision, but I'm doing okay on provisions right now. I hope I spent a provision when I commissioned. I don't know that I did. I'm going to do that now. I don't know that I paid that provision. So if I pay an extra one, I'd rather do that than not pay one and feel like I cheated a little bit. All right, here we go. AI's turn. King's Favor. They're going to be targeting the 5th one, but there's really only 2 left. So they're going to go here. They're going to discard a Suspicion. They don't have any to discard, so instead they'll remove one of these. And then they're going to be removing 2 more from the tax supply. And that first one didn't give them a increase here, but these 2 will. 1 to the lowest one will go there. And by lowest, I meant the one on top in this case. All right. Lowest down the marker. All right. Back to me. I don't have any workers. I've got to be done. All right. AI still has a worker left. They cannot pray. That's already blocked, so instead they will recruit. They're going to target the 2nd card, which is no longer there. Now they'll be this card because they move to the right. They'll gain a provision and a worker. There's their provision. Here's their worker, which means they get a go again. Convert takes 2. They can't do that, so they'll trade, which gains them a coin. And that's the end. All right, that's the end of round 4 of 7. All right, so these both were not taken. They're going to get discarded. We'll move the missionary down to the end here, refill the row. Got an acolyte, a peddler, a defender, and a watchman. We'll burn this hunter. I'm going to hope some blue factions come out, although they'll be pretty far down the row if they do. There's a hunter of the green faction and a champion of the yellow faction. No blues! That's a bummer. All right, so we refilled that. These are going to get discarded. And we are now ready for round 5. All right, round 5, here we go. The King's Favor card goes into the discard pile there. And we will flip over this action space. Let me clear those off while I'm thinking about it. This one, you spend a green worker. You don't have to spend any of the coins to either to recruit them in either way, either to discard them or to take them into your party there. So that just means you can get those leftmost ones for with no coins. All right, which it could be potentially something good for me. I don't know. All right, so the AI is going to need how many workers? They're going to need, we're in round 5, they're going to need 8. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right. Let's see who comes out in the tavern. Who wants to work? 2 blue workers, 2 white workers, 2 greens, a blue, and a red. Well, that's clearly what I will take. So 2 greens, a blue, and a red. Now, I could wait to see what my Paladin's going to be, but I know that the white workers are the least powerful, so I tend to just go for which one's going to give me the most varied workers here. So, trading gives me 2 additional silver. Fortifying doesn't cost any provisions, and commissioning costs no provisions. All right, so I'll do the commissioning this round. I'll save the fortifying for the next round and put the trading at the bottom. So I'm going to get a boost of 3 to my influence. I'm going to get a boost of 1 to my strength. And hope for the best. I'm also going to get a black and a green for my Paladin this round. Okay, here we go. Now, I know I want to commission, and I'm at a temporary boost of 3, so I'm now at 7. So I can go to any of these now. All right. First thing I might want to do is make commissioning even cheaper. So I think I'm going to develop. No, I can't develop. I don't have the coins. I'd love to develop. All right, so do I trade first? I think I'm going to have to trade first. All right, so I trade. It's going to give me 3 coins, which I'm going to use on my next turn to develop. Hopefully pray and try to commission twice if I can. I'll need to conspire to do so. Well, we'll see if it works out. That's my plan anyway. Well, they're going to commission. They're going to hop in there. They've got a faith attribute of 4, all right, which means they can go to any of the first 3. The first thing they want to do is recruit for free, which none of those are available. This one, these 3 bottom spaces aren't available in a 2-player game. So if they can't convert, then they're going to try to flip a debt card, but they don't have any debt cards. Then they're going to try to pray, so they can steal this pray action. So they'll go there, all right, because although there's 2 they could go to, oh no, actually they only have 4. But let's say they had 6 and they could have gone to either of these prays, they'll always go to the leftmost one. So they pray, which means that they're going to gain an influence. They are going to clear the right side of their board, which is going to make this open again, and then they're going to shuffle their scheme deck. Alright. I opened up the commission again for them. And I'm certainly going to be commissioning this round because that's kind of my focus because of Ivan, my paladin there. But first I had to kind of build up. Well, I didn't have to. I chose to develop so that I could make the commission cheaper. So I'm going to go ahead and use green and a red. Spend my 4 coins, my only 4 silver. It's going to give me a blue worker. And I'm going to make the commission even cheaper. Hopefully I can get enough of these out by the end of the game to get those 4 points. We'll see. It's certainly a risk. Alright, oops. Top card is King's Favor. Alright, so they're going to be looking at the 4th most. There is not 4, so they'll come back around. I certainly would have used that pray action. So they have none here on the right side, so they're going to gain a worker. Shuffle their deck again. Lots of shuffling here. Alright. And the worst thing for me is they took an action that I most definitely would have taken. I kind of needed that, to be honest with you, to be able to do the commission twice, which was really my goal. I always feel like if I can, whatever my paladin allows me to do, I want to try to do it at least twice that round. Alright, so I am going to commission. Unfortunately, it's not probably as good as I would have normally done. It's not going to cost me that provision. It does gain me the influence. Now, can I pray? Oh, I can pray. So that's going to actually work out okay for me. So I will, I've got 4 plus 3 is 7, so I'll come over to this pray. I'll clear that commission right off. I'm going to need to conspire to get a black worker to do so, but that's okay. Actually, it'll be a purple worker. They are one and the same. Recruit. They're going to be going for the 4th card. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is another pray action. So it's been nothing. They've been very pious this round. So they can't pray, or they can't remove. They will gain a worker and will shuffle yet again. Nothing but praying for the AI. Alright, they must have done something pretty rough. Okay, back to me. I need to conspire so that I can get to that commission action again. Alright, so let's put a green worker there. It's going to give me a criminal. It's probably also going to give me a debt card. We'll find out. Oh, no coins. That is really disappointing. That's disappointing. Okay. I at least like to get silver out of it so I don't feel like it's been wasted. King's Order. They're going to try to do the rightmost card that they have not completed, which is Absolving. So they need 3. They've got 4. Alright. Yep, and a Inquisition will certainly happen here. And unfortunately, because of my peddler, I don't have 2. I only have 1. I can't get my 2 coins, which is a real bummer. Alright, so they've absolved. First thing they do is they move up on their faith. Then they're going to try to discard a suspicion. They don't have one, so this goes away. It triggers an Inquisition. I discard that because I only have the 1. I gain a debt. We'll refill the tax stand here. And he'll do it again, so he'll remove 1 more from the tax. Alright, sorry I'm bumping the board quite a bit. Alright, Now we come back to me. I can commission once more. Does not cost me any provisions. It will bump up my influence one more. And what do I want to do here? I can go anywhere. I think I want to go ahead and flip that debt I just took. Alright. Okay, that's that. Do I want to do that? Or is there a way I can move? Oh. Yeah, see, I'd love to be able to absolve, but I'm one short. I'm at 6 on my influence. I need 7 to be able to do this. And the only other way would be to... Yeah. Okay. Where did I place it? I flipped. Okay, so I've done that. That's good. Not great, but good. King's Favor. So they're going to be trying to get the 4th one. There is no 4th, so they'll come back here. Wow, they're going to be burning through this tack stand again. So they will discard 1. They cannot, so they remove 1, and then they take 2 more. They will gain 2. 1, 2. So that moves their influence up on top there. Actually, that's in the first spot, sorry. I've got 1 lowly worker left, which I would love to use for my absolve here, but I'm short. I'm 1 short, and I don't get a temporary boost with Ivan. That's really disappointing. So, and my trade action is taken. I can't go here because I need a green worker. So I think what I might do, this does nothing for me to recruit that. Wow. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much stuck taking a hunting action, which just gives me a single provision. Alright, that's a shame. Did not work terrifically for me that round. If I had 1 more, that absolve would have been great. I would have felt pretty good if I'd been able to pull that off. Alright, here's the prey, yet again. They will remove these workers, okay? And they will shuffle their scheme deck for probably the 17th time this round. At least it feels that way. Alright. Now I am done, so I've got to clear my board. Back to the AI, they've got 2 workers left. They want to absolve. They can, because they need a 3 to do so. So we're going to have yet another Inquisition, although no one's going to take a debt, thankfully. Alright, so 2 here. We flip over this. They get a faith bonus. They will burn a suspicion they don't have, so this is going to go away. It's going to trigger an Inquisition. Neither of us have any suspicions, so we're okay. Oh, I'm throwing coins left and right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now for their second one, they can't flip a card. They don't have one, so they will burn another one of these. All right, I'm done. Now they are done because they are out of workers. All right, so we clear off the missionary card. These come down. 2 rounds away. Both of these get cleared. Nobody got attacked or converted that round. There's a blue barbarian and a marauder. Okay, these go away. Clear these. Clear off the AI's board. They're going to have for this round 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 workers now for the AI. King's Favor card will come into their discard pile. We're going to find another action spot. This one is, oh, this is a good one. Blue worker, you spend a provision. You can either take a develop action or get a red and black worker. Wow, I do really like that one. So I'm certainly going to try to get a blue worker this round. I'll probably go there first. That's maybe my favorite King's Favor card. All right, so that's what I'm looking for. Okay, I wanted to just make a quick mention that I had to switch out my battery, so there may be a little bit of a shift of the camera from where we were at before. Hopefully it's nothing too jarring, but I did want to point that out just in case it was very clear. All right, so we are beginning round 6. The AI has their workers, and I need to see who's available here in the tavern. So let's see, we've got 2 blue workers, a criminal, and a green worker, and we've got 2 red workers, a criminal, and a green worker. So I know that I'll be taking at least 1 criminal, which is fine because I've got no money. Hopefully one of those suspicion cards that I take will give me money. Let's see who I'm going to be using for my paladin this round. Take the top 3. All right. I know I want a blue worker because I definitely am going to be taking that action. 2 of these will give me blue workers as well. Fortifying won't cost any provisions. Conspiring will earn me silver, and praying costs no silver. So let's see here. Well, I definitely want to commission and I want to convert, so I kind of need to get some black workers. I'll get 2 of them if I use Oliver here. But I only have 2 right now for my strength if I want to attack. That's not terrific. Well, let's see here. I'm kind of leaning towards Oliver, but I do want to absolve as well, because absolving is going to get me that order, that king's order. And to absolve I need blue. So I think what I'll do at this point, none of these give me a temporary boost to my strength, so that's not even a consideration. So I think what I'll do is I'll take Oliver. Alright, he's going to make praying cost no silver. I'll put Garen here, who makes conspiring earn silver, and I'll put Anassis on the bottom, if I said that name right, and I probably didn't. So I get 2 black workers. I've got to determine what I want from here. I think I'll go ahead and take the 2 blue, the green, and the purple. So I take since I'm taking a criminal, I have to take a suspicion card, which luckily is going to get me 2 of those coins. That's wonderful. All right, and now the AI is having to take 1 as well. Let's see what they're going to get. They're also going to get 2, which is going to trigger a Inquisition. So there's 2 there. These 2 go away, but they're going to get refilled. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, unfortunately, I can't trigger my peddler here because I only have 1 card. This is a real bummer. We both have 1 card, so we're both going to return it, and we're both going to take a debt. All right, so 1 for me and 1 for the AI. All right, let's put that in the player area, put mine in my player area for now, and now we get going. All right, now I know I want to come here, so I'm going to go ahead and place my blue worker there. I'm going to pay a provision, and I'm going to put out one of my workshops. It's going to give me a red worker. What do I want to make cheaper? I kind of feel like I should make... Wow, I can do the convert cheaper as well. And I've got a pretty... Yeah, I was considering attacking, but I think I'm going to convert. And hopefully I can get some good endgame scoring points. We'll see. Alright, here we go to the AI. They've got a king's order. Alright, they're going to be trying to do this first. Which they can do because they need 5 to do so. Alright, so they're going to use 2 of their workers. They're going to flip over that 5 pot because that's exactly how much they've got. They're going to gain a faith. They're going to discard, but they cannot discard, so instead we'll remove 1 tax. Then they're going to flip that debt they just got. So now that was a 4-point turnaround for them. Instead of 3 minus points, they get 1 positive point at the end of the game. All right, and so that is their action done. Now back to me. Do I want to commission first? Do I want to convert first? I do kind of have to think about it because they can, the AI can come kind of snake these out on me. Both commission and convert take the faith attribute. They've got 7. I've got a temporary of 8. Which is good. So I think what I'll do first is commission. That's going to help me get this. King's Order, because that will be not quite my 5th, but it'll get my 4th out there. So I'll put a black worker here to commission. All right, I have to spend 2 of my provisions, unfortunately, all right, to do so. This comes out, it's going to raise my influence attribute, and I think since I'm at an 8, part of me is thinking I just go ahead and flip over my debt card that I just received, so I'll put that there. Okay, so that's a net 4 points for me. And then we come back to the AI. They're going to recruit. All right, so they come here, they're targeting the 3rd card, which is right here, the Watchman. That's going to give them 2 workers, which will add to their ever-increasing pile, it seems. All right, now do I want to convert or absolve? I cannot absolve yet until I get some coins. So let's see here. Maybe let me look at what I have available to me to convert. So I'm at an 8. I can convert all the way up to here. This will give me points for every green. I have none of those. Right now I have the 3 blue workers, so I don't really think I'm interested in that one. This would give me 1 + 1 for every of the King's orders that I fulfill, and I think it's likely that I'll fulfill 2. I think I'll fulfill these 2. That would potentially be 3 points. I don't think there's any chance of me fortifying 5 times. So that's potentially 3 points. This is 2 points right away, this mercenary. This is already 2 points. Do I think I can get another 2 out there? So there are some good convert possibilities. Absolving would also be nice because then it'll allow me to do some other things as well. All right, so let me, do I want to see about getting, do I want to get some coins first? No, I'll convert first. All right, so I'm going to come here to convert. No, I'm not. I can't. I have to get I have to get another coin. So let's absolve. All right. No. I had it backwards. Sorry. Yes, I will convert. I don't need the coins for that. I only need 1 coin to convert. All right. So, and it's also going to give me a provision because if you'll remember earlier, I had the missionary that will allow me to gain a provision whenever I convert. All right. So I'm at a 8. 4 and 4 is 8. I can convert any one of these. Let's see. I said this one probably get me the most points. So I'll convert this champion. I have to pay a coin to do so. I immediately gain 1 strength. And if I can get 2 of those, that'll give me an extra 2 points at the end of the game. All right, so I went ahead and did that. I converted. Did I gain? I did not gain my provision. All right. Here we go. Back to the AI. They will fortify. Can they fortify? They need 5. They absolutely can. They have exactly 5 of the influence, so they'll take a wall card, and they get a strength and a worker. So this is just boosting them right on up. A lot of points at the end of the game that they're already getting from their influence tracks. Okay, now what do I want to be doing? I would like to absolve, but I need money to do so. I'm going to need 2 more. So I might need to, I could take a risk and try to conspire to see if I get more coins, but I think what I need to do is just go ahead and trade. I kind of hate doing, well, let me see if there's something I could do here. Let's see. If I go here, I can get 2 coins out of the tax. Maybe I want to do that. That's a guaranteed 2 coins. I'm only spending 1 worker instead of 2. Yeah, let's do that. It is costing my criminal because I don't have a black worker. I don't have a discard. I don't have a suspicion to discard, but I do get to take 2 coins out of the tax, which will allow me to absolve on my next turn. So we'll see if that worked out well. Garrison, that's going to take 3 of theirs. They have 6 strength, which is the attribute you look for there. So they certainly can be putting on the board here. This will be the first time actually that they're garrisoning successfully. That's interesting. So it's going to gain them a faith attribute. And they're going to do this order of operations where they're going to be looking anywhere from 6 on, which is going to be these 3. They're going to go in the order here. There are no free recruit actions that they can take. They wouldn't do the flipping. They're going to try to pray. There are no prays available. Now they will try to get 2 workers. There are no 2 workers available, so now they're just going to try to get a single worker. The leftmost will be right there. All right, so they've done that. Okay, back to me. Now, do I want to absolve that I've got the coins to do so? I think I do. So I go ahead and I absolve. That's going to allow me to get that King's Order at the end of the game. I spend 3 coins. I do have the 7 influence. It's going to give me 1 more faith. It's also going to give me an extra point at the end of the game. Now, what do I want to do? I can gain another faith. I can gain 2 provisions. There's no reason to discard suspicion I don't have. I can get a white worker, or I can do a free recruit action. Let's see here. None of these recruits are terribly exciting to me. So I think what I'll do is just take a faith attribute action. Okay? It actually just moved me up on the faith track there. All right, now we go to the AI, and they want to attack. And they've got a 6 strength, so they certainly can't attack. All right, so we put 2 workers in their spot. They're going to be targeting the 3rd worker here, which they can attack because they only need 5 there. So they're going to immediately gain 1 influence. Move that on top. They're going to discard a suspicion, but they don't have one, so we move 1 out of the tax, and they're going to gain a worker. This is going to go face down in their area. All right, back to me. I've got 2 workers, which I could attack. I've got a 3, so I think that's what I'm going to do, actually. I think I'm going to attack. And I'm going to give myself a... I think I'm going to give myself... Yeah, I'll give myself a debt to... Okay, I apologize for what is clearly going to be a jarring break. I lost the amount of space on my card, so unfortunately it cut me off right in the middle of a brilliant play that I was making, and but luckily I saw it, and so I will kind of keep up with hopefully what I was saying. When I was so rudely interrupted by my card getting full, I was getting ready to say that I'll go ahead and take a debt to get this mercenary, to attack this mercenary and get the 2 tax coins to do so. Well, what was especially nice about that is that when I removed the last coin from the tax, I didn't have a debt, and neither did the AI. So neither one of us, or excuse me, I didn't have a suspicion, and neither did the AI. So actually, neither one of us are going to take a debt to do that. So I was able to attack the mercenary, and I will refill the tax. And again, I apologize for that jarring kind of jump there in the footage. Okay, now we go over to the AI. That was going to be my last turn, but the AI still has plenty that they can do. They're going to go to the King's favor. They're going to attempt this action here, which is going to be basically they're going to recruit, and they would be focusing on this card. They cannot do so, so they'll move to the right, and they're going to just take 2 of the taxes. So we remove 2 coins out of the tax stand, put them back to the general supply, and we move up on the tracker there. All right, they're going to keep going. They want to commission. They need faith. They've got 8 faith, so they can certainly do this commission action. They will place their 2 workers there. They're going to remove a monk. That's going to increase their influence, and they've got any of these to choose from, so they're going to be looking at a double worker because, oh no, actually they can pray now. They can pray because they can reach this spot. So I will do that. And so that means that they're going to remove all of these workers from the right side of their board, which make them available to them again. All right. And now we will shuffle the scheme deck up. They've got, at this point, 2 workers available to them. They may get more. As you've seen, there are certainly ways for them to get more workers. All right, here we go. King's Order. They're going to try to do the one that they have not completed, which is going to be the Absolve action. And they've got 7, correct? They do exactly have 7. So this will be their last turn of this round, they're going to flip over this. They cannot, at first they'll move up in their faith. They cannot remove a suspicion they don't have, and they'll do that twice. Okay, so I have passed. Actually, I should remove my workers now. I'm passing. And the AI is also going to pass, as they've got no available workers either. All right, so we will remove this peddler. Shift these down. We refill for our final round. 2 gatekeepers come out. And a watchman. We will remove this vigilante. These will come down. We'll replace a guardian. A maybe. Lookout. A vigilante. And an adventurer. Alright. These are going to go away. These will go away. Okay, the AI is going to be getting 10 workers on this last round. So 1, 2, 3. Look, humanity. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's make sure I got that right. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yep, that's going to be their worker pool to begin this last round. We will take the King's Favor card, put that in the scheme discard pile. Let's see what our final worker spot is here. You can put any worker to get 2 provisions and a tax. That's potentially good, depending on what I'm trying to accomplish this round. Let's turn over our tavern. Oh boy, well, someone's getting a debt this round, and I think it'll pretty clearly be me. So what I'm going to do is probably go ahead and take this one, but let's figure out what my paladin is going to be first, shall we? All right, so I take the top 3 for this final round. Let's see what I want to do. I've got conspiring earns me 2 silver, so I'll gain 2 silver if I get a criminal. Recruiting does not cost any silver, so I would save costs there. And garrisoning, which I've not done any of, costs no provisions. Now I do have plenty of provisions, but I probably want to look at what temporary bonuses I can get. Let's see here. Do I have, I'm going to want to attack, I think, because I've got multiple blue people out there, multiple blue outsiders out there. So if I want to attack, I need to be looking at boosting up my my strength, because I'm at 3 right now. I can get up to 7, and I'll need red workers to do that. Yeah, so I think what I'm going to do is take Roland here. Roland will be my last. Yeah, Roland will be my last paladin. Doesn't matter, I'll put one more on top and the other on the bottom here. So Roland's going to give me a red and a white. And then I'll go ahead and take this to get 2 criminals, a white and a red. Alright. And then, because the first thing I'm going to do is go here to make my attack cheaper. Alright, so now I've got to do my suspicion. I gain 1, which will be the last one. Alright, so I gain this. I get to discard it because it's going to give me a debt. Refill this to 5. And now I get to do for my second criminal. Hoping for 2 here. I only got 1. I'm knocking things over. Alright. And now the AI is going to have to take 1. And they're going to get 1. And we move up here, which is going to make their strength go up 1. Alright. Final round. Here we go. Now, I think clearly what I want to do is go here to make the attack cheaper. I hate having to use one of my criminals to do that, but I will. So I spend my provision, and I'm going to go ahead and move my last workshop to the attack spot to make that cheaper. I get a black worker for doing so. Okay, and so that's going to be the AI's turn is next. And they are going to flip over their card, and they're conspiring, which is going to give them more workers. All right. It's also going to give them a suspicion, so let's see what they get with that. So that does somewhat help in that if we clear out this tax that we will... Yep, there we go. No coins for them. They might get the debt. I'm going to have to worry about clearing my debt out at some point. All right, so now I think I'm clearly going to attack because I want to get some of these blue workers out of here, or blue outsiders into my pile so I can gain points. So I attack. I'll go ahead and take this first one. It's going to immediately give me 1 influence, a tax, and a provision. So let me get my influence up there. Let me get my tax. And let me get my provision. All right. Now I'm going to probably try to pray on my next turn. If I can, I'm going to go here to save the coins to get that attack back so I can do it again. All right, I'd love to get multiple of these blues. King's Favor. So they are going to go for the first King's Favor. Wouldn't you know it? They're going to take that prey spot as if on cue. They deny me what I need, of course. They have no workers on the right side, so they're going to gain a worker. And they're going to shuffle up their scheme deck. See, that's this devious AI always finds a way to mess with my plans. So I'm going to end up losing 2 coins and a black worker rather than any worker and a no coins. Yeah, because really the only other way that I can pray would be by trying to find... I just don't really see a good place to do it. So I do need to go ahead and go to my prey action, which is a real bummer. I go here, I spend 2 coins. I'm going to remove this worker off my attack action. Yeah, that hurts. Okay. Now they're going to try to do a commission action, which they'll need their faith, which they certainly have no problem with. They've got 9 faith right now. All right. So they put their 2 workers there. They remove this monk, which is going to give them 2 points at the end of the game, and also is going to increase their influence. And so they can go anywhere up to 9, so they can go to any of these spots, which, looking at what's available, they're going to be taking the first double worker spot they can get, which is right here. And they'll get 2 more workers. So it's a lot of things that they can do in this last round. Okay, now I'm going to come back to attack here. I am at a 7 with my temporary bonus, so I can go right here. All right, which I will do. I'm going to attack this lookout, which is going to give me a influence, and it's going to give me a blue worker, which is nice because then I could absolve, which is good. I wish I'd left one of my prey actions open so I can attack again, but no such luck. All right. Here we go, a King's Favor. They're going to look to go to the first King's Favor. They cannot, so they will go here. Looks like they're going to be triggering a... I can't think of the word right now. Okay, so they're going to go here. So, Inquisition, that's the word I kept struggling for. So the first thing they're going to do is remove one of their... Oh, that's going to get me a debt. That's a real bummer, because they were able to remove one of these. Okay. And so they'll get 2 of these. All right. And we go 1, 2. That triggers an Inquisition. I still can't use my Peddler because I've only got 1 card. So this is going to go, this is going to go. We both discard those. I've made a mess of my discard pile over there, but that's okay. Now we both take a debt. 1 for the AI and 1 for me. I need to do something about this because that's... I'm at a -2 now. Not good. Okay. Pardon me. All right. So now I need to refill the tax. 5. All right. What am I going to do here? What am I going to do? I'd love to flip over one or more of these or get rid of them. Right now, I don't see a way that I can either flip or get rid. The only way is if I had my faith up to 10, I'd have one spot to flip over one of these, but I don't see an option anywhere out here where I can either get rid of or flip a debt card. So I think I'm likely stuck with those. So I think I just have to deal with it. I don't think I've got any option right now to do anything with those. So instead what I will do is I will probably, do I want to commission or do I want to absolve? I can do either. I can convert as well. Maybe I want to be looking at that. I'm at a 6 converts, or a 6 faith, so I can get either one of those. Oh, this would be a really good one for me, because that would give me 4 points. Yeah, I need to do that. Okay, so I'm going to commission. I'm going to use my criminal there, and I'll pay my 2 provisions. Oops. Move this monk. That's going to improve my influence. And, oh, no, I'm not doing that. I'm getting myself confused. I don't want to commission, I want to convert. Sorry. Let me get these back. This is not what I'm doing. I'm not commissioning, I'm converting. Sorry about that. And I can still do that, thankfully. I have the 2 coins to do so. So I'll spend 2 coins. I want to convert this Guardian. All right. It's going to immediately improve my strength by 1. And now at the end of the game, I'm going to get 1 point for every 2 of my workshops. So 1, 2, 3, 4 points. That's good. All right, here we go. King's Order. They're going to try for the 3rd one. Actually, no, they're going to go from right to left. So they've already completed this. Now they're going to want to fortify, because that's the next one from the right they haven't completed. So they've got enough. Yes, they've got 8 influence, so they go to the fortify. They're going to gain a wall card. Put it right here. It's going to give them a strength, and it's going to allow them to flip their debt card. Would you look at that? That worked out very well for the AI. All right, so now do I want... I'd love to absolve, but I cannot. I don't have the 3 coins to absolve. I could potentially commission if I get a criminal. So that's probably what I'll do. I'll conspire. Oh, actually, when I converted earlier, I should have gained a provision because of my missionary. Sorry. And that might matter. End of game, you get 1 point for every 3 leftover coins or provisions you've got, so I might as well get it. So let's go here to gain a criminal. All right. Gain a suspicion. I get no coins, unfortunately, which is a bummer, but that's what happens sometimes. Now we go to the AI. They're going to recruit. They're going to be targeting the 3rd card, which is right here, which is going to give them yet more workers. 2 more workers for them. All right. I believe I want to commission so that I can get those 4 points at the end of the game. So let's go ahead and put my criminal there. Now I'll spend the 2. Actually, I had already moved this up, so I hadn't put it back, so now that's where it's supposed to be. I'm glad I caught that, because I would have felt horrible. What do I want to get? I can get anything in these first spots here. Do I want another worker? Do I want to get rid of this? I might want to get another worker. If I get a green worker, I can fortify, which might not hurt. I could also, yeah, I'll just do that. I'll get a green worker so that I can fortify on my next turn, which will be my last turn. The AI will get likely many more. All right, attacking. They are going to spend 2 workers. They are going to be targeting the only one that they can at this point. They normally would be targeting the 3rd, which is not there, and then they would move to the right, and that takes 9. They've got 8, so they actually can come right here and attack this Marauder, which actually is not great for me because it's immediately going to give them 2 influence, which is going to move them from 9 to 13 points. So that is not great. All right, so they do that. my last, might as well get one flag out, one wall out there, right? I go ahead and I fortify. This may not be the best play, but that's what I'm doing, by golly. All right, so I spend one provision. I'll get a wall card. Oh, that's good. It gave me some workers. I get a strength and a blue and a green, so I can do another action. All right. Okay, here we go. AI is going to do a King's Favor. They're going to target the third, which they cannot get, so instead they'll go here. They'll gain 2 provisions and attacks. 1, 2. They get one of these, which is going to move this around and move their strength up. So they're going to probably max out or get close to most of those tracks, which they tend to do. They tend to max out those tracks pretty good. Okay, trying to see if there's any way. Well, you know, there is a way. There is a way. So I'm going to recruit, and that's going to be for this one, which is going to allow me to take 2 from the tax, which then will allow me to absolve on my last action because I'll have the 3 coins to do so. So that's good. So I do that. I may end up with another deck card. I would not be surprised. But it is what it is, I suppose. Here we go. King's Favor. There's only one left. So they are going to be recruiting, essentially. And they're going to be targeting this first card. So they get a worker and a provision. Now, I've got my 3 coins. I can absolve. I've got plenty of influence to do so. So I spend my 3 coins. I'm going to take this, move this up. My faith moves up. And what can I do? I can get 2 provisions, which will give me a point. I don't need to spend this to burn that because I'm already going to burn that. None of these I think are going to help me right now. So I think it just behooves me. Well, I could get a worker. No, I think this is better. Just going ahead and getting those 2 provisions because that'll get me a point. So I gain 2 provisions. That'll end me the game with 3, which will give me a point, and then I can discard this. So I'm safe from another debt at least because I already have 2 that I'm going to be stuck with. All right, here we go. Praying. Okay, so we do that. We're going to remove every worker from the right side of their board, and we're going to shuffle up their scheme deck. All right. All right, let's see how many more actual actions they end up with. I am done. That's my final action that I can do. And so we'll see how I end up. Let's finish out the game through the AI. They're going to do a King's Favor, which are all filled. There are no King's Favors left, so they're going to go to trade. Move up there. Now we're going to go to the Pray action, which that's going to be it. That's filled. So they're going to rest, but this is going to bump up their meter quite a bit. So we're going to get 1 plus 1 more per worker. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, it only moved this one up 1. All right, so here we are. We have completed the game. We've both taken all of the actions that we're going to take, and now we're going to go to Endgame Scoring. So let me get my phone/calculator out and kind of show you how this goes. All right, I've got my calculator out here. I've got the rule book just to make sure I'm not missing anything. So here's what I'm going to be looking for. I'm going to be looking for a completed King's Orders. So did I have 5 of the commission actions taken? Yes, I did. I got my 5 monks out there, so that's 4 points. Did I get 5 of the fortifies? I absolutely did not. Did I get 5 of the absolves? Yes, I did, so I get 8 points for that. All right, so 12 points out of my King's Orders. My attribute tracks, I have 16 for my influence. I've got 6 for my faith. I've got 3 for my strength. So I'm at 37 after that. Did I develop 6 or more times? Yes, so I get 6 points for that. All right. Debts, I have -6 plus 4, so that's -2. 43 minus 2 is 41. All right, now silver and provisions, 1 VP for every set of 3. I get 1 for that. It gets me at 42. Commissions, did I get any points off of that? I did. I got 2 points out of that. All right. And then fortifies, I did not get up here, so I get nothing there. Garrisons, I didn't do any garrisoning. Absolves, I get 3 for that. Puts me at 47. And then my converts. So I look here, and I get 1 point for my invader, 1 for every of the blue. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there, so that's nice. 5 points there. 1 plus 1 for every of the king seals that I was able to do there, so that's going to be 3 because I completed 2 of those. All right, that's a 55. And then 1 for every 2 of my workshops. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's going to leave me at 59 points. All right, so I'm at 59 points all told. I think that the AI will probably be doing quite a bit better than that, but we'll find out. All right, so let's just make sure that I'm getting everything here. Okay, so King's orders for the AI, they got all 3 of them, I believe. They got 5 of their monks out, they built 5 walls, and they did, yep, they got all of them. So that's going to be 18 points for them. All right, and I want to say I was at 59. We'll find out. I think I was at 59. Their attribute markers, they've got 2 at the 13, so 26. And then 11 for their faith. Yeah, they pretty much already got me there. Then they got 2 points there for getting those monks out. They got 2 points there. All right. They got 1 point there. All right. They got 2 points for their debts. All right. And then they got here, 1 plus 3 is 4, and 1 for every 2 walls. 1, 2, 68. If I got everything there, I believe I did, they got 68 points to my, I think, 59. All right, so yeah, I couldn't quite pull it off. Although I feel like that was one of my better games, quite honestly. I kept things a bit closer. Had I played on easy mode, it's possible that I would have won because I would have had fewer of their workshops out there at the beginning of the game. So, hopefully you got a pretty good idea on how Paladins of the West Kingdom is played in the solo mode. I know this was a long video, but I wanted to kind of go and take my time and show you how things were done. So there you had Paladins of the West Kingdom. Well, what can I say? I'm going to keep my thoughts brief, first of all, because I know that was a very lengthy playthrough video, but I think part of the reason why it was so lengthy is that there is so much happening in this game. It's not terribly hard to understand. It's not really complicated as far as rules go. The rules are relatively straightforward and easy to grasp and manage, but the decision space in this game is immense. There are so many potential ways you can go. I've played the game many times so far. I've played it many times solo, and I've also played it multiplayer a few times. And I have not seen anything close to a dominant strategy emerge. There are so many different paths to victory that you can take. And I really love the mechanic of drawing those top 3 paladins from your deck, choosing which one you're going to use this round, which one you're going to save for the future rounds, which one you're going to put kind of to the bottom of the deck there. That really, while it's the first thing you do, and it may not seem like a terribly important decision, it is crucial. It really is. There were many times where everything that I was doing in a particular round was based off of that early decision, where I'm going to take this paladin that allows me to do absolving actions better. I'm going to try every way I can to get as many benefits out of absolving as I can. Maybe trying to go to that action 2 to 3 times that round, which really creates quite an interesting quandary and a puzzle every round as its own unique puzzle. And so I really enjoy that. Of course, as always, the art is fantastic. The mechanisms are rock solid, and the game really, really flows well. For as much that's going on, you never feel like things are clunky or fiddly or are there for no purpose. Every single action you take is interlocking. I love also this notion that for every spot you've got a particular attribute that you need to kind of pay or have an amount of to use it, and then it's going to give you a benefit in another action. It's this really great push-pull kind of a situation where you really don't want to ignore any of those three attributes, because you really can't. It will hamstring you if you just ignore one of those three attributes. So this is another winner for me. I absolutely adore it. The AI is a next level AI in all of these Garfield games. It started with, you know, the North Sea and now into the West Kingdom. I feel like this AI system is the most robust, and it by far does the best job with giving you the feel of playing against an opponent. It is absolutely wonderful the way that they have come up with a system that allows you to deal with the targeting of particular cards. You know, which of the king's order cards, which of the king's favor cards is it going to be going for? Which of the outsiders is it going to be going for if we're going to be doing a convert or an attack? Which of the townspeople is it going to be going for if we've got a recruit action? I love that tracker that uses for the different components also are allowing you to trigger a particular card. So I think it's a really elegant way to handle it, and it's a beast. It's really, really tough to beat. There's a significant challenge there, but it never feels unfair or arbitrary. So there you have it. Paladins of the West Kingdom, another fantastic game in the series, and I can't wait to see what they come up with next. Thank you so much for your time, and have a great day.